So we were seeing this verse, very, very cryptic verse about being destroyed, Atma never being destroyed. So we can just chant that. Just want to refresh verse 19. Ya enam veti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. So here Bhagavan was discussing the concept of non-doership. Very, very difficult, very subtle concept to understand. What is this non-doership? We're all doers. We all see ourselves as doing, right? So it is very difficult to understand that the intrinsic nature of ourselves is actually not doing. And this is very interesting. And Shastra, to understand this, Shastra has given a couple of examples about the true nature of oneself. So it says, Atma is akarta. This self is a non-doer. It is abhokta. It is a non-experiencer. It doesn't get involved in any action. At the same time, it lends existence to all actions. We saw this. Very, very subtle point to understand. It is like space. All actions take place in space, but space is unaffected by any action. And this is what Bhagavan is saying. You are neither the killed nor the killer. He's using the worst type of action to cover all the actions that can be committed by human beings. It is also prakashavat. We can liken it to light. All objects in this universe come to light because of light, right? Without light, everything is as good as non-existent. Actions take place in light. So we can recognize everything due to light. And this is prakashavat. So all actions are lit up. And this is exactly the nature of Atma. It lights up all actions. At the same time, it remains free from action. It is not the actor. It is neither the acted. It is the one that gives existence to both. So we'll, again, these are very, very subtle points that Bhagavan is trying to make, difficult to grasp. But the idea is that if you remove the space, no transaction can take place, right? If you remove space, where is the idea of transaction? That is the closest example Shastra uses. So light and space can exist independently of all objects in this universe, but can objects exist independently of light and space? They cannot. That is the idea, okay? One existence is dependent on the other existence. The existence is what we call Atma. And we saw this this verse. We also saw the meter change, another verse where Bhagavan says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvato yam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So this is the two type of chanting that we have in the Bhagavad Gita. One is Anushtup meter and this is Trishtup meter. You'll find throughout the Gita, there's interchanging verses like this. So I am Atma, na jayate na mriyate kadachit. It is the same kind of idea that Bhagavan is emphasizing in all the verses. He is saying that this Atma is never born at any time. So there's no birth for Atma. And it is na mriyate kadachit. There is no such thing as death for Atma. Can you say space came into being and it dies off? No, all names and forms in space have beginning and end. But space cannot be destroyed, and that is what he's trying to convey. Atma, this self, transcends all the bodies. It at the same time it covers all bodies. Yena sarvam idam tatam, we saw in a previous verse, it covers all bodies and transcends all bodies. It is the content of all bodies, and we call it isness, awareness. This is the isness, awareness of every being in this universe. And bhutva, it is bhutva na bhavita. It was always there before, and it will always be. It never ceases to be, because existence never ends. So he uses words like this, ajaha. Ajaha is birthless. Atma is birthless, right? And also, I said last time, we have to be careful. Aja has also goat in Sanskrit. So we use the context. We don't translate Aja as Atma is not a goat. Okay, Atma is beginningless here. Okay, in this context. And another word that comes throughout the Gita, Nityaha. It is there was a never time. Nityaha is eternal. Literally, it means there was a never a time that Atma was not. So all these types of words he's using to convey what this nature of this self is. Shashvataha, he says in this verse. It is always there without change. Shashvataha. Puranaha. Puranavaha eva, which means there's no vriddhi, no growth for Atma. Neither nakshayam, no decline for Atma. It is Puranaha. Bhutvana bhavita. Okay, not time bound at all. Same kind of things. We saw all of this. Atma is not time bound because it is akarta, it's not a doer, because it's not an experiencer, it is not subject to karma. It is not subject to karma. It's very important to understand. Then what is subject to karma? It is the body, mind, senses alone that have to go through the karmic reactions of the past. Body, mind, senses alone are touched by the karmas one experiences. But Atma, the intrinsic nature of everyone, is untouched by even karma. So there's no punya papa for Atma. So he says here as well, hanyamane sharire na hanyate. When the body is destroyed, Atma is never destroyed. Again, same kind of idea. The destruction theme is taken to show that you are neither a subject of destruction, neither are you an object being destroyed. You are neither the subject who creates destruction, neither are you the object being destroyed. Very subtle. Atma is the only reality. So look at the key words that are addressed in the past verses. Nityaha, eternal, not time-bound. Sarvagataha, which means all-pervading. We saw aprameyaha, ever the knower, never the known. That means what? It means you are the sakshi. Atma is the witness of everything in this universe. It is the eternal, called the eternal witness. That is what the nature of every being is, the eternal witness. Akarta, not the doer. Abhokta, not an experiencer. Pleasure and pain don't affect Atma. It is free from pleasure and pain. And it's nirvikaraha, it is free from all modifications. It doesn't go through any of the changes that human beings as bodies have to go through. So again, he continues in this line. He continues for the next few verses. We'll go through quickly, and then he changes his shifts gear, meaning he goes into a gear that Arjuna understands. After this, around 30, he shifts gear. So Veda vinashinam nityam ya enamajam avyayam katham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. So he says here, Yaha Veda, the one who knows. So this is very important. It is knowledge. Bhagavan is saying here, Veda is not the four Chatur Veda that Bhagavan is talking about. It's the same spelling. Veda here is the verb. It comes from the Sanskrit root vid, to know. It becomes Veda. Veda is the verbal form. One has to know. One should know. And Yaha Veda means the one who should know. What should they know? Enam Atma, this self, this ever-existent, ever-evident, self-evident self, because of which everything else becomes evident. Nothing in this world can become evident without the self lending existence to it. That's what he's trying to say. The one who knows this, what does he experience? He knows it to be avinashinam. Avinashinam means indestructible. So nothing can destroy it. And this is the theme that is going to come along in the next few verses, is non-destructibility of Atma. And again, the same words. Bhagavan is reiterating. Why does he reiterate so much? Because he wants to emphasize the nature of the Atma. The verses emphasize the nature of the Atma. Actually, words cannot really reveal that nature. Bhagavan is using certain words. The actual purport of the words actually reveal the nature of Atma, even though the direct meaning cannot reveal. It is the implied meaning of the words that one has to understand, that show the self, that one discovers the self by constant listening to these words that Bhagavan is saying. So in Nityam, again he repeats this word, Nityam, it is eternal. Whenever you feel afraid of death, whenever you feel afraid to survive, whenever those thoughts come, am I going to go one day? Whenever sickness comes, disease comes, any kind of distress comes, these words should give you support. They should give you a lot of strength. Your Nityam, Bhagavan keeps reiterating that. There is never beginning to you. Nityam means eternal. There is no such thing as death in our Shastra. Isn't that amazing? We'll see that in the next verse. Everything is recycled, including you. Okay, so you keep coming back. We are the best recycled things in this planet. Actually, you see, we keep coming back again and again. Nityam, Atma is eternal. Ajam, it is without janma, again birthless. And avyayam, avyayam means it is without decay, like old age. Atma doesn't get old and grow gray hairs. So your true nature, your teeth don't fall out there. Your true nature is untouched by teeth falling out, hearing going, gray hair happening. That true nature, only those changes happen to the physical form. Your true nature remains untouched. And how to know this Atma? This is also a methodology that's given in our scriptures. It is called neti neti. Not this, not this. We begin first with not this, not this. Why? Even though we're talking about Advaita, non-duality, at the beginning we have to acknowledge we see two, right? I and this. It is all, everybody has an experience of I separate from this, everything apart from me. I am separate from everything else, right? However much I'm close to people, however much I feel my child is mine, part of me, it is still separate from me, right? So there's always I and the other one. And this neti neti is a methodology to separate what your true nature is from what you are not. And how do we do this? It is a very interesting inquiry that Shastra asks you to do. First of all, you have to see yourself as independent of everything else. So are you really, it asks, are you, it's very easy to see you are not the tree outside. It's very easy to see you're not the objects outside you, right? You don't identify with your car. You don't say, I am car. You don't say, I am house. It's very easy to see you're not the objects that you deal with. But when it comes to your body, this is the biggest vichara that one has to do. Physical body, are you, the Shastra asks the question first, are you this physical body? Are you this physical body? Then it asks, if you say, yes, I am the physical body, then it asks, you can see your physical body, right? Can you see your physical body? Yes, I can see my arm, I can see my leg, I can see everything. With a mirror, I can see my face. Yes, I can see, perceive my physical body. So the rule is, yet drishyam tat tat jadam. Whatever is seen is not you. It is inert. Atma is always Chaitanatvam, the nature of existence, consciousness. Everything that is seen is an object of your knowledge, right? Anything that you perceive through your senses is an object of your knowledge. It cannot be you. There has to be, and this is the first level of inquiry, there has to be a thing, an entity that is witnessing this body, that is able to perceive this body. You say, my hand, my leg. You don't say I leg, right? You don't say I head. Unless you've gone a bit off track, we don't use the I pronoun for our body parts. My, even in language, if it means, if you're saying my hand, my leg, my body, what does that mean? That body belongs to someone. It is not you. The physical body cannot be you because it is a possession that you have. It is an instrument that you wield. And we'll see in the next few verses what Bhagavan thinks about it. Not such a good, not a happy verse. I'm just warning you, the next verse coming up. He dismisses the physical body very, very, but this is how I do inquiry. Neti, neti. Am I this body? Am I the physical body? No, I cannot be the physical body because I perceive my physical body. The physical body is an object of my knowledge. Anything that you perceive is an object of your knowledge. You perceive a donkey outside. Are you the donkey? No, you are not the donkey. Just because you perceive something, it doesn't mean you are that thing, right? Anything is like that. So physical body is very easy to do some inquiry and see that there is an entity independent of the body, that is resident of this body, that is Deha Swami. You are the Swami, the master of this physical form. Then you shift to what? The mind. Am I the mind? Am I the mind? Am I the thoughts? Am I the thoughts? Yes, you may say yes, because our whole life is what? Thought comes in our head, we act. Thought comes in our head, we act. Desire comes in our head, we act, right? And all the experiences take place where? In the mind only. Pleasure and pain are felt where? In the mind. So mind becomes a very important thing in our day-to-day life. It is the mind we're actually addressing, right? It is not the physical body. That is, physical pain is much easier to recover from than any kind of emotional pain that we have to go through. It is the mind that is what we have to deal with. But you have to ask, Shastra says, am I the mind? Are you able to objectify your mind? That is the question also, the next question. Are you able to objectify your thoughts? Now, if you really think, if you really analyze, you are able to see your thoughts. It is called Sakshi Pratyaksham. Your thoughts are also evident to you. You are not your thoughts. You know when you're angry. You know when you're sad. You know when you're jealous. If you know your thoughts, if you know your states of mind, can you be the mind? You cannot. Because there has to be a knower. Whenever something is known, there has to be a knower separate from the known. So this is the next level of inquiry. I cannot be the mind. Then the shift of the I has to naturally happen. When this inquiry is done more and more, and you see the shift of the I goes to Atma, your true nature, the one which is witnessing the mind, the one that's witnessing the physical body. Am I idam, this, or aham, I? No, everything is an object of my knowledge. And this is what Bhagavan is saying here. Hey Partha, katam sapurusham kam hanti. How can that person kill anyone? How can they be a doer of the action of killing? No kartritvam. There's no kartritvam, no doership at all. And you cannot even cause somebody to kill. Ghatayati. You cannot cause someone to get killed either, because you're not the karayita. That is the word in Sanskrit. You're not the cause for somebody to do an action either. So this is how we do the inquiry. We see Atma is separate from doer and experiencer. It is the mind that experiences everything. Atma is free of the mind, and it is untouched by the problems of the mind. It is untouched by the problems of the body. And more we see this, the more and more freedom we gain in life, in our interactional life, in every relationship we gain this freedom.